Please subscribe, like and share this content. It means a lot to us. Thank you in advance.
To U.S. Code Chapter 5, Library of Congress. To U.S. Code Paragraph 136, Librarian of Congress, Rules and Regulations. The Librarian of Congress shall make rules and regulations for the government of the library. To U.S. Code Paragraph 136(1), Appointment and Term of Service of Librarian of Congress. A. In general, the President shall appoint the Librarian of Congress, by and with the advice and consent of the Senate. B. Term of service. The Librarian of Congress shall be appointed for a term of 10 years. C. Reappointment. An individual appointed to the position of Librarian of Congress, by and with the advice and consent of the Senate, may be reappointed to that position in accordance with subsections A and B. D. Effective date. This section shall apply with respect to appointments made on or after November 5, 2015. To U.S. Code Paragraph 136A, 136A1, Omitted. To U.S. Code Paragraph 136A2, Librarian of Congress and Deputy Librarian of Congress, Compensation. Notwithstanding any other provision of law, 1. The Librarian of Congress shall be compensated at an annual rate of pay which is equal to the annual rate of basic pay payable for positions at Level 2 of the Executive Schedule under Section 5313 of Title V, and 2. The Deputy Librarian of Congress shall be compensated at the greater of the rate of pay in effect for Level 3 of the Executive Schedule under Section 5314 of Title V, or the maximum annual rate of basic pay payable under Section 5376 of such title for positions at agencies with a performance appraisal system certified under Section 5307D of such title. To U.S. Code Paragraph 136B, Omitted. To U.S. Code Paragraph 136C, Authorized additional expenses and services for which Library of Congress salary appropriations are available. From and after October 1, 1983, appropriations in this act available to the Library of Congress for salaries shall be available for expenses of personnel security and suitability investigations of library employees, special and temporary services, including employees engaged by day or hour or in piecework, and services as authorized by Section 3109 of Title V. To U.S. Code Paragraph 137, Use and Regulation of Law Library. The Justices of the Supreme Court shall have free access to the law library, and they are authorized to make regulations, not inconsistent with law, for the use of the same during the sittings of the court. But such regulations shall not restrict any person authorized to take books from the library from having access to the law library, or using the books therein in the same manner as he may be entitled to use the books of the general library. To U.S. Code Paragraph 137A, 137B, Omitted. To U.S. Code Paragraph 137C, Withdrawal of books from Library of Congress. The Chief Judge and Associate Judges of the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia and the Chief Judge and Associate Judges of the United States District Court for the District of Columbia are authorized to use and take books from the Library of Congress in the same manner and subject to the same regulations as Justices of the Supreme Court of the United States. To U.S. Code Paragraph 138, Law Library, Hours kept open. The law library shall be kept open every day so long as either House of Congress is in session. To U.S. Code Paragraph 139, Omitted. To U.S. Code Paragraph 140, Employees, Fitness. All persons employed in and about said Library of Congress under the librarian shall be appointed solely with reference to their fitness for their particular duties. To U.S. Code Paragraph 141, Allocation of responsibilities for library buildings and grounds. A. Architect of the Capitol. 1. In general, the architect of the Capitol shall have charge of all work at the Library of Congress buildings and grounds, as defined in Section 167J of this title, that affects A. The structural integrity of the buildings, B. Buildings systems, including mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and elevators, C. The architectural features of the buildings, D. Compliance with building and fire codes, laws, and regulations with respect to the specific responsibilities set for 1. Under this paragraph, E. The care and maintenance of library grounds, and F. Purchase of all equipment necessary to fulfill the responsibilities set forth under this paragraph. 2. Employees. The employees required for the performance of the duties under paragraph 1 shall be appointed by the architect of the Capitol. B. Librarian of Congress. The Librarian of Congress shall have charge of all work, other than work under subsection A, at the Library of Congress buildings and grounds. C. Transfer of funds. The architect of the Capitol and the Librarian of Congress may enter into agreements with each other to perform work under this section, and, subject to the approval of the Committees on Appropriations of the House of Representatives and the Senate and the Joint Committee on the Library, may transfer between themselves appropriations or other available funds to pay the cost therefor. 2 U.S. Code Paragraph 141A, Design, Installation, and Maintenance of Security Systems. Transfer of responsibility. The responsibility for design, installation, and maintenance of security systems to protect the physical security of the buildings and grounds of the Library of Congress is transferred from the architect of the Capitol to the Capitol Police Board. Such design, installation, and maintenance shall be carried out under the direction of the Committee on House Oversight of the House of Representatives and the Committee on Rules and Administration of the Senate, and without regard to Section 6101 of Title 41. Any alteration to a structural, mechanical, or architectural feature of the buildings and grounds of the Library of Congress that is required for a security system under the preceding sentence may be carried out only with the approval of the architect of the Capitol. 2 U.S. Code Paragraph 141b, Collections, Physical Security, Control, and Preservation of Order and Decorum within the Library. A. Establishment of regulations. The Librarian of Congress shall establish standards and regulations for the physical security, control, and preservation of the Library of Congress collections and property, and for the maintenance of suitable order and decorum within Library of Congress. B. Treatment of security systems. 1. Responsibility for security systems in accordance with the authority of the Capitol Police and the Librarian of Congress established under this Act, the amendments made by this Act, and the provisions of law referred to in paragraph 3, the Chief of the Capitol Police and the Librarian of Congress shall be responsible for the operation of security systems at the Library of Congress buildings and grounds described under Section 167J of this title, in consultation and coordination with each other, subject to the following. A. The Librarian of Congress shall be responsible for the design of security systems for the control and preservation of library collections and property, subject to the review and approval of the Chief of the Capitol Police. B. The Librarian of Congress shall be responsible for the operation of security systems at any building or facility of the Library of Congress which is located outside of the District of Columbia, subject to the review and approval of the Chief of the Capitol Police. 2. Initial proposal for operation of systems not later than October 1, 2008. The Chief of the Capitol Police, in coordination with the Librarian of Congress, shall prepare and submit to the Committee on House Administration of the House of Representatives, the Committee on Rules and Administration of the Senate, and the Committees on Appropriations of the House of Representatives and the Senate an initial proposal for carrying out this subsection. 3. Provisions of law. The provisions of law referred to in this paragraph are as follows. A. Section 141 of this title. B. Section 141A of this title. C. Section 1964 of this title. D. Section 1965 of this title.